Okay, so welcome back, and now what we're going to do is we're going to start doing some examples of converting from polar form to rectangular form when we're dealing with complex numbers. Before I do that though, I wanted to go back and just make something clear that I probably didn't make clear in the last video when we was going over the examples of writing a complex number in polar form. If you look at this, one of the things that we look at is the angle, and we see that the angle is positive in two different quadrants, right? And then the question comes up maybe in your minds is, okay, how do we know that it's in one versus the other? For example, in this one here, we said that cosine of the angle was positive in the first and fourth quadrant. Okay, the first and fourth quadrant, cosine is positive. So when I do this and I get, I think we got pi over 6, right? And I said, well, its cosine is positive in the first and fourth quadrant. Well, how do we know which one to do? Well, you can look at this and you know that it's going to be in the first quadrant because this is positive and this is positive. So you're going to the right in the positive direction, and you're going up in the positive direction, which puts you in the first quadrant. So we know, based on this, that this point lies in the first quadrant. So any angle that we get, we know that it's going to have to be in the first quadrant. Therefore, when we got pi over 6, we knew that was going to be our angle, and not 5 pi over 6. Okay? Okay, so enough of that. Just keep in mind that this will tell you what quadrant the point is in. Okay, so now let's talk about polar to rectangular form. Okay, so we're going to go sort of backwards. When we're going from polar to rectangular form, we start with the cosine, we start with the angle. We want to find the angles, and then we'll deal with the modulus. Okay, so for example, if I give you this, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is look at the angles. Okay, and so we need to find out what the cosine and sine are for this one. Okay, so let's start with cosine. Let's start over here. So cosine of pi over 6, right? Okay, so that's a 30 degree angle. Okay, so cosine of 30-degree angle is square root of 3 over 2. Sine of a 30-degree angle, or pi over 6, is 1/2. And so now all we have to do is substitute those in. Okay? And this should make sense since we're in the first quadrant. Okay? So now I'm just going to substitute those in. Now I get 12 times what? Square root of 3 over 2 plus I times 1/2, right? Or 1/2 I. And now I just distribute the 12. And so this will become 6 square root of 3 plus 6i. And that's our final answer. So now we've got the rectangular form. So this is the rectangular form of a complex number, and we started with the polar form of a complex number. That's it. Have a great day.